What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Leizel. Now for today's video, I am going to be doing a look, this look in fact, using the Amrezy palette from Anastasia Beverley Hills. You guys already know that I wanted to dive into the more colorful side of the palette. So yes, that's exactly what I've done today. I even did dip into the blue Leo shade, which I was really happy about. So if you guys are interested to see how I did this look, keep on watching. And if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, you know what to do. Join the crew by hitting the little red subscribe button down below. So with that being said, let's get started. For today's look, I am going to get started with the eyes first. I'm going to go ahead and prime the lid area with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This one that I'm using is in the shade Light Sand. I know it might look a little bit crazy, but this is just to make sure that I have a nice smooth canvas to work with when applying the colors. Alrighty, so now that I have that base down, I'm going to go into the palette and I will be taking the shade OG to start off with. This is going to be my transition shade in the crease. So I'm just going to be going in with a fluffy blending brush and really laying that down in my crease and blowing it out. Since I am planning to do a cut crease for this look, I'm also going to be taking it up a little higher than I normally would, just to make sure that nothing disappears and gets lost when I do go ahead and cut the crease. Alright, so now that that color is down, I'm really liking how that's looking. But what I'm going to do next is go into this shade right here. This is Samsa right next to OG. As you can see, it's like a really beautiful matte, darker pink purple type of shade. So I'm going to take this shade on another blending brush and go ahead and pack this into the crease once again. I actually want this to be a little more intense, obviously, because this is going to be like the main crease transition shade, I guess you could call it. So I'm going to pack that in kind of heavy and then blend and blow it out towards the top of the brow, so it kind of blends into that first shade that I applied. So yeah, as you can see, just taking that color and running it back and forth through the crease, building it up to make it a little more intense. I'm just going back in with the same brush that I used to apply OG, just to kind of work at the top where the two colors meet to help blend the two together. If you ever feel like you lost some color, don't be afraid to go back in and like try and find it or add some more back in there, which is what I'm doing. I'm not even adding any extra to my brush. I'm purely just taking whatever is on the brush and running it through just to get into that area to make sure everything is blended. I'm liking how that's looking, but I do kind of want to darken it up just a little bit. So I'm going to go into this brown shade right here, the matte brown one called 1988, and I'm going to once again go into that with a blending brush and just go ahead and run that through my crease again, but not blowing it out as far. This is all about layering and building color to create depth and intensity, just to make sure that when I cut the crease, it is really nice and defined. So as you can see, the crease is looking pretty intense at this point. So I'm going to go back in with that same brush that I used to apply Samsa, and I'm not taking any extra product, but I'm just going to blend through to make sure that we keep that intensity, but I still want it to look more like pinkish purple as opposed to just a dark brown color. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. I'm going back in with the same Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and cut my crease. I will be honest with you guys, having lash extensions like I do, when it comes to doing makeup like this, they can be very annoying. I do feel like they get in the way, which is why I've been like kind of umming and ahhing about whether I want to just take them out, but they're just so handy. Like I can't help myself when I'm doing something like this. I'm just like, man, these lashes, like they're in my way. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to do like a full cut crease all the way through. I just want to keep it at that for now because I'm going to add like a darker shade to the outer corner of my eyes. But for the most part, I think this looks pretty decent so far. Alright, so now that I'm done cutting the crease, I'm going to go ahead and fill in that lid space. I want to give it like a more of a gradual type of effect. So I'm going to start off with this shade over here in the corner called Wasted. I'm going to take that on my eyeshadow brush and start packing that on from the inner corners of my eye. As I'm looking at this shadow, it just reminds me of like fairy dust. It's so finely milled, you guys, like, and it has this really like ever so slight glitter to it. It is so fine. It just reminds me of fairy dust. Next up, I want to go into the shade Cupcake. This one right here. It's a really beautiful shimmery purple pink type of shade. So I'm going to take that and continue on the lid space with that, essentially blending it into that first shade that I applied down and bringing it out towards the outer corner of my eyes. So I'm liking how that's looking, but I think I want to kind of bring it over that first shade that I applied as well, because I feel like this one is a little more shimmery. Sometimes I do this, you guys, like I change my mind halfway through as I'm filming a look. I'm like, you know what, let me just change that up real quick. So I'm gonna go over the first shade that I applied because I feel like it kind of shows up on the eyes a little better than that first shade did. Now that we have this shadow down, pretty happy with how that's looking. So next up, I'm going to go back into the palette. I'm going to be taking this shade down the bottom here. This is probably like one of the most standout shades of the palette aside from Leo. This is Amrezy. So I'm going to take this shadow and once again pack it onto my lid, but I'm going to be focusing it more towards the outer third of my eye. I'm pretty happy with how the lid shades are looking now. I want to add quite a fair bit of darkness and intensity to the outer corner of my eyes. So I'm going to go into the matte brown shade of the palette, like the darkest matte brown called Yugo. And I'm going to take that and apply that to the outer corner of my eye and blend it in towards those shadows. Moving on to the face now, I'm going to go ahead and prime it using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is, I believe, the universal shade. I've never tried this before. This is my first time trying it. Oh, okay. The consistency is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a bit creamy. I'm just going to go ahead and apply it with a synthetic brush. Even though this might not be the way to do it, this is new for me. So Poreless Putty Primer. We'll have to see how it goes with my pores because I do have enlarged pores, especially around my T-zone area. I feel like that left my face looking like lighter. It's like casting like a light shadow to my face. But anyways, for foundation, I'm going to be using the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to my face and then blend it in with the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Alrighty, so foundation is on. Once again, I'm going to be taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Light Sand to, of course, conceal and highlight my face. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to my under eye area, above my brows, down the bridge of my nose, and a teeny bit on my chin. And this, of course, is going to conceal, but also highlight my face at the same time. You guys already know I'm going to go ahead and quickly set those areas with the Australis Ready Set Go Translucent Setting Powder, especially underneath my eyes. If I don't set those straight away, I find they crease up really easily. I'm also just going to go ahead and use the Benefit Hello Flawless Pressed Powder to set the rest of my face. So now that I have my base on, I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my eyes. Jumping back into the palette, I'm firstly going to be taking OG, which was of course the first initial transitional shade that we ran through the crease. And I'm going to go ahead and run that along my bottom lash line and blow it out just a little bit. So I'm running it along my bottom lash line and bringing it up towards the outer corner of my eye. And I like to do this because I feel like it really does mirror what is going on the lid, which makes everything tie in together in a cohesive way. Next up, I'm going to be going into Semsa, which once again was one of the shades that I applied to my crease. And again, following suit with what I just did, I'm going to run this along my bottom lash line, but I'm not going to blow it out as far as I did with that OG shade. I'm just going to keep it a little closer to the lash line and continue pulling it through all the way to the outer corner of my eyes. Same thing goes for the shade Yugo. Once again, I'm going to take that and run that through my crease, but I'm going to keep it only on the outer third of my eye and connect it up to the same shade that is on the outer corner of the top lid. Alrighty, so now for the inner corner of my eyes, I do want to add a little something there, but I want to do something different, and I'm going to be taking the blue shade in the palette, Leo. So I'm just going to be taking that and applying that to the very inner corners of my eyes. And this is, of course, is going to act as that kind of inner corner highlight. I'm also going to be taking a little bit of Barb and Wasted together to kind of mix with that blue Leo shade, just to tone it down a little bit and add more of like a light blue type of shade in there. Before I forget, because I seem to always forget this, I'm going to go ahead and add some mascara to my bottom lashes, and then that will be the eyes done. Moving on to the rest of the face now, I'm going to go ahead and take the Benefit Hoola bronzer to go ahead and kind of bronze up, contour, and add some more color and life back into my face. Just bronzing all the usual areas like my cheekbones and around my hairline, and then I'm also going to go ahead and take that same bronzer and use it to contour my nose as well. For blush, I'm going to keep it pretty neutral, and I'm just going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Exposed. Of course, just taking that to the apples of my cheeks and bringing it back towards my hairline. And then for highlighter, I'm going to use this one right here. This is the Extra Dimension Skin Finish from MAC in Beaming Blush, and it's like a golden highlighter shade, but it has that kind of pink undertone to it, which I feel like goes really well with this look. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply those to the normal areas that I would highlight my face. Last but not least, for my lips, I'm going to keep it pretty neutral. So I'm firstly going to be going in with the Rimmel London Lip Liner in Cappuccino, and then I'm going to use the NYX Suede Matte Lipstick in Dainty Days. And then last but not least, top that off with the Dose of Colors lip gloss in Undressed. So here we have, you guys. This is the completed look. I want you to comment down below and let me know what you think. For me, I'm really liking the colors, and I feel like the inner corner highlight, like, even though I wouldn't usually go for a blue in there, I feel like it's definitely something that you could swap and interchange for something else, but I feel like it adds a little something extra to this look. As always, a full list of all the products that I used throughout this video will be down in the description box below, along with all of the links to my social media accounts if you want to follow me on any of those. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're still here at the end watching and you're not yet subscribed to my channel, you may as well subscribe, so hit the little red button down below before you go so you don't miss any more videos that I post. And with that being said, I hope you guys are having an awesome week. I hope you're staying safe, looking after yourselves, and looking out for each other. I will talk to you in the comments, and I shall see you all in my next video.